fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX OhgerCalibur Zero from Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, and this is the sword used by Ohger, aka Rockless Haste. Spoilers. But yeah, so we saw this form a couple times in the show. I feel like it's kind of worked its way out, but spoilers, this is actual spoilers this time. Rockless has returned, so maybe we'll see this form again. Not sure. We'll have to wait and see. It's just kind of shown at the end of the most recent episode. But anyway, we got the OhgerCalibur Zero here. I think this looks really cool. Now, obviously, this is a repaint slash retool of the normal OhgerCalibur toy. But this was a premium Bandai release. This was not normal retail. Yeah, there's some cool stuff to it. We'll get into it. But first off, packaging here. I really like the packaging. You got Ohger here. You got the sword. Really sleek. I think this looks really cool. Kind of what you'd expect from premium Bandai packaging. Not really much going on up here. The sides just have the logo for Shugodam, if I'm saying that correctly. Down here on the bottom, just your usual warnings and whatnot. You will need 3 AAA batteries. That's what's going on there. And then on the back, just kind of another picture of the sword. The LEDs on this thing are really, really cool. I think that's definitely its biggest feature that it's got going for it. But again, we'll jump into it. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the box here, and we'll take a closer look. Here is the DX OhgerCalibur Zero out of the packaging. I think it looks really sharp. I mean, obviously, kind of a dark gunmetal gray / black and gold is always a great color scheme. Got a little pop of red here. Lot of nice metallic gold paint here around the hilt. Now, this is the same mold as the OhgerCalibur. Obviously, it has been retooled. There's only the one Kuwagata horn here in the center. All the other 4 have been removed, as is how it appeared on the show, so that is correct. But it is the same mold. Like I said, you got the on and off switch here. You got the speaker. It still has the clip so that you can slide it into that holster on the belt. It's got the pieces here so you can still attach the King's weapon if you want. It does take 3 AAA batteries, which go here in the handle. So you just depress, or actually you have to unscrew this one. It's got a screw. Take the panel off, put the batteries in, pop it back on, and then you're good to go. So yeah, looks really sharp. Still has the plastic tip here for safety reasons. Mine's a little bent, but I assume it'll be all right. But it's got great LEDs. Like I said, that's really where this thing shines. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Also, it's really nice and loud, which I appreciate. So, when you first turn it on, if you hit the trigger, it's going to give you like a generic slash sound, but it will rotate through the 5 colors. So, even though they don't use this, it's still kind of cool that it rotates through the 5 main colors. Let's go ahead and transform. Standby music we're very used to at this point. So the LEDs look great. I love when it first starts off how the light kind of travels up it before it starts transforming. I think that's really, really cool. Now, if you hit the trigger at this point, you can see that the LED has changed and it's not cycling through the 5 colors. So I think that's really cool. You can also hold the trigger down. So that starts the final attack. I love how the green travels up the blade. If you hit the trigger, it just kind of cancels it out. What you have to do is after you start that attack, you have to hit this 3 times. So if you hit it 1 time or 2 times and then hit the trigger, it just cancels it out. You have to do it 3 times. So that's really cool. I love how the green travels up and then it becomes solid green. Then as you do this, the first one fills up this part, the second one fills up this part, the third one fills up that part. I think that's really, really cool. So I like that quite a bit. And just to illustrate my point, it just cancels it out. So it's not like you can do like 3 different attacks depending on how much you're charged. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So that's kind of it for like just attacks while you're being Ku or Kuwagata Ohger. But of course, you can call the Shoe Gods as well. So if we pull this back and hold it, so now it's in the Shoe God mode. So each time we pull this back, it's going to cycle through them. I also like how it says the name of the Shoe God, and then when it says 0, the light kind of travels up the blade as it's saying 0. I think that's really cool. If we do it again, it's just going to go back to Kuwagata. If we hit the trigger, so now we formed King-Ohger 0. I love when it does like the rainbow effect really fast. I think that looks really, really cool. Once you form King-Ohger 0, you're just back to I guess even before you transform, because now it's gone back to cycling through the colors, which is interesting. The other thing is, if you hold this down again, you can just hit the trigger right away. You don't have to call them individually. So I think that's pretty cool. If you want to cycle through, you know, the 5 or even just call 1 or something, as soon as you hit the trigger, it's going back to King-Ohger 0. Now, if we do this again, and we hold it down, it doesn't do anything. So I just wanted to show that last little bit. I always forget about it. I just wanted to show that after you call, if you hit into the Shoe God mode, there's no attack for holding the trigger down. That's only in the normal mode. Alright. So that's kind of it. That's really all that it does. You have the attack sound as it goes through the 5 colors. You have the transformation. Then the attack sound gives you a different kind of LED pattern. Then you have the attack by holding the trigger down. You have the Shoe God mode where you can call the 5 different Shoe Gods, and then you can form King-Ohger 0. But that's really it. I mean, not that the regular OhgerCalibur had all that much functionality. It didn't really. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. I like what it does. It doesn't do a ridiculous amount, but I feel like it does a decent amount. And the LEDs are just beautiful. I think, like I said, that's really where this shines. I love when the lights kind of travel up the blade and it does the rainbow effect or things like that. Or when you're doing the charge attack and it turns green and then like each section lights up as you continue to power it up. I think that's really cool. So it's really nice in that regard. I love how the LEDs work on this. I think that's really cool. I'm not going to bother attaching the King's weapon. It works the same way as the first sword. You literally just, you click it on and then you remove it. It's not that exciting. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't trigger any new sounds on this because there's no way for it to know that it's attached. It's literally just, it just clips on. So there's no added functionality with that, so I'm not going to bother. But yeah, it looks great. You know, what it does is very cool. I mean, I wish it could do a little more. Maybe some phrases or something from the show would have been fun. But I don't usually know what they're saying anyway, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, Kind of a cool little sword here. Let me see. I'll bring the box back in. And pretty much just wrap this one up. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's cool. It's a premium Bandai item, so it's not super cheap. So it's really going to be up to you whether you need it or not. I like it, though. Honestly, I like it. I think these are fun. They're a decent size for roleplay toys. Usually they're pretty dinky, but I feel like this is pretty decent. Even in my adult size hand, I feel like I can hold the sword pretty well. The guard is not really in the way or anything, so that's nice. All right, we'll turn that off. But yeah, I feel like, you know, it's a decent size. Like I said, I love the paint. I love the LEDs. It's really just up to you. Now, everyone's kind of stipulating, oh, maybe there's going to be a memorial edition when the show's over. That's very possible. I would imagine they'll probably do at least a memorial edition of the normal OhgerCalibur. I don't know if they'll do one for the OhgerCalibur Zero, but they did just about all the swords from Dawn Brothers, so it's a very good possibility. So I know a lot of people have kind of completely skipped on this in favor of a memorial edition later on. I am just at the point where I don't need memorial editions of every weapon from every Sentai, and they're getting pricey, and I'd rather just have this one, which I'm perfectly happy with. And yeah, so it's really just up to you. Do you want to hold out for a possible memorial edition? Are you happy with this? I mean, the memorial edition would obviously be bigger, probably have some phrases, maybe even the theme song, something like that. So it's really just up to you. It depends what you're interested in, how much money you want to spend. But I think this is a pretty decent alternative, certainly a cheaper alternative to a memorial edition. I want to say this was somewhere in the area of $80 to $100, if I'm remembering correctly. A memorial edition would probably be double that. So again, it's really up to you what you want to spend and how much you love the look of this sword. I mean, I do think it looks cool. Obviously, it's got a little bit less functionality with half of the Bop It buttons removed. I love to call them it really is just like a Bop It sword to me. Yeah, so it's up to you. But like I said, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this if you decide to pick this one up. I think it's pretty cool. Other than the plastic on mine being a little bent, it's pretty great. I like it a lot. I really do. I love what the LEDs do. I think that's really, really cool. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.